Hi folks, Martin Lehner here from Orange Technology, and in this video I'd like to talk about marketing, more specifically advertising, and how you get your name out there. Now I've been asked this by a lot of people in a lot of different industries. I have clients who are small businesses, medium-sized businesses. And I've actually gotten this question a lot is, how do you advertise? How do you get your name out there? And this is kind of one of those, it's sort of a topic that's very situational. It depends where you live. As you guys know, I live up here in Whitehorse in the Yukon. So I'm pretty far north from most of you. I'm on the Canadian side of Alaska. I live in Whitehorse, which is the capital city of the Yukon. That said, even though it's the capital city, our population is about 28,000, so it's not very large. Business counts, we have about 1,800 businesses that are operating here within the city. So again, not very large at all. So for me, in my area, I've done things. I've done the radio ads. I've done newspaper. I've done advertising, local magazines and things like that. We don't have a television station. That gets really expensive, by the way. I've done mailers. I've done the cold calling. So I've done a lot of marketing initiatives, and to be quite honest with you, in my area, the best thing I've done is actually unaddressed ad mail. So I get a flyer similar to this, right? So I've got a rack card. Here's my rack card. That's what I've got, right? Gives you all my services, a little bit of info about us, that kind of thing. So I take this and I bundle them up and I bring them out of the post office, and they will drop a copy into every mailbox for a business address. That's in this area, it's really cheap. Again, it's only going to I believe the post office has counts that sit around 800. So there's 800 business mailing addresses here in the city. So they send them out. And to be honest, I usually get a call or two from them, and they're really cheap to do. That's worked the best in my area. To be honest, I've done radio. Radio is great for brand awareness, and we will talk about that in another video. It hasn't been great for selling anything. I haven't sold anything. I haven't landed a client or anything from a radio ad. Newspaper, print, it's not bad, but again, it's more brand awareness. I haven't ever sold anything out of a newspaper ad, and newspaper's not cheap. Neither is radio, but radio I think reaches a broader audience, and actually I think radio is better for being noticed and remembered. I've done the cold calling. To be honest, in my area, we're a little bit too small. People aren't used to random calls for marketing. It's not really something that's worked that well for me. I have landed clients doing it, but to be honest, ad mail, honestly, for the time spent, ad mail is probably the best. I will do another specific video as well on marketing yourself physically when you're out and about anywhere in the public. That's really a big one, but I will do a separate video just on that specifically. But yeah, basically, out of your traditional marketing mediums, unaddressed ad mail has worked really well for me. Actually, something else that's worked really well is Yellow Pages, and not online. In my area, people don't generally go online to find IT services, right? Because, and again, I'll do another video on this, but our internet's not that reliable, right? We have regular internet outages. So what happens is the internet goes out or network goes down and someone needs support. Well, they can't really Google it because their network and internet's not working. So what do? They go to the phone book. And our phone book's not very big. Like it's like that. It's very small, and there's only a few of us in there. So that's actually worked really well for me as well. But really, what I want to drive home is it's very situational, and it depends where you're at. I mean, if I was operating in a large city, and I've worked in a large city before, I used to live in the Vancouver area. It's not the same thing, right? I mean, if you send ad mail out in a large city, well, you're going to be on any day of the week, you will be among one of 100 flyers that a business will get. Maybe more, actually. Probably in the Vancouver area, you're probably looking at 150 or so. It's quite a few, so you'll get lumped in there. In my area, I might be one of 3 that gets seen on any given day. So it's really not the same thing. There is no golden rule. There is no golden answer. I've given this answer to pretty much everybody who's ever asked, and everybody's gone, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense, I guess. Again, it really depends. My recommendation, my suggestion would be to just try some of them, see what happens. Again, you have to look at your return on investment. And I know that's a little bit hard to do. Obviously, if you get a client or a sale, that's an obvious return on investment. There is something called brand recognition and brand building. And, again, we'll do another video on that, which is worth something too. And you have to put a value on that. But that's something you're just going to have to try and see what happens. The only thing I would suggest is don't put a lot of money into one single thing. Spread out your advertising money, your budget, and see what works and what's giving you what you feel is the best return on investment, and then start investing more into that. But don't start with saying, okay, I've got $5,000, I'm just going to hit everything on radio, because if that doesn't work, then you have no money and you're done. So don't stick to just one thing. Try everything. See what works for the best in your area and for you, and then go from there.